Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to talk about some wrestling news. So we're getting right into it here. It's kind of an impromptu. I wasn't really going to do one, but there's quite a few stories I want to talk about. Quite a few stuff I want to talk about, so let's get right into it here. So from WRKD Wrestling. There are growing frustrations backstage in WWE regarding the handling of the women's division. Well, no fucking shit, I could have told you this. There's no secret that there's frustrations backstage regarding how they're booking the fucking women's division. Because I know there's frustration. There has to be fucking frustration. The women's division is at the worst state I've seen in a long, long time. Because here's basically a rundown of the fucking women's division right now in a fucking nutshell. You have 70% of the women have been off TV for months. You have 3 to 5 minute matches nobody gives a fucking shit about. Because when you're seeing the same matches, 3 5 minute matches every week, how are you supposed to care? You have lack of competitiveness. You barely have any challengers for the women's title for Rhea Ripley. I mean, they're saving Raquel for Payback, which makes sense, because Payback makes sense after Rhea injured her knee. So that makes sense, but you don't have your fucking women's champion on the show. You don't have your women's tag champions on the show. You have 3 5 minute matches. You barely any TV time of compelling stories. Ooh, people will tell you, ooh, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus is a compelling story. No, it's not. It's lame and it's boring. Should they be on SummerSlam? Maybe. But there's just way too many matches on the fucking card. And they only put LA Knight so we wouldn't bitch and complain to be about LA Knight not being on the show. And also, it's the same cast of characters of taunt women only being used. Charlotte, Bianca, Becky. You see the same women used every week. Same cast of characters. But you don't see any others being used. Like Candice LeRae. I guess you can say Bayley and Io Sky are on TV. But yeah, same cast of people. Like Candice and Indy Hartwell, Xia Li, Tegan Knox, Emma, etc. I swear, if it's not a taunt women's feud, WWE couldn't give 2 shits about it. I mean, yeah, the Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus feud isn't that good. So, and they're saving, I guess, for Toronto, Trish's hometown. Remember 1 year ago, Sasha and Naomi walked out, and a year later, I'd argue that things are even worse. The women's division was bad when they walked out. It's even worse now. And they're not even, and not for Rhea not even to have a match. 2 of the most over people on Raw. I get Becky and Trish because they probably want to have in their hometown in front of their family, but with Rhea, well, it kind of didn't help when Liv Morgan got injured. They might have done Liv Morgan. Raquel makes sense because I just don't want to have 2 weeks of build. So maybe it's... And the next pay-per-view after this is literally fucking Payback. So I get that. I get both arguments. It's just the women's division's so... It's just trash booked, man. And I don't think Becky versus Trish has had the best build, but it is a shame it's been taken off. And I think they did the Battle Royal to avoid fan anger from me and many other LA Knight stands about him not being in the card. I could be wrong, though. But, yeah, but... And sure, maybe they use Rhea, Raquel, Becky, Trish, Zoe, Bayley, Shotzi, Asuka, Bianca, Charlotte, Io, Chelsea, Sonya, Maxine, Valhalla, Scarlett, Michin, Ronda, Shayna. They're all regulars. But let me ask you, who gives a shit about Valhalla? Shayna Ronda Rousey, I mean, who cares? Women's division is so shit right now. Like, you could use Nikki Cross, Xia Li, Tegan Knox, Emma, Piper Niven. Where the hell is Piper Niven? I mean, they barely use any of the freaking women. I swear to you. Besides the top women, they couldn't get two shits about any others in that division. That's why I say, wrestling with these fucking wrestling companies, with AEW and WWE, they only book the women because they have to. It's not because they want to. Swear, it's a fucking company, dude. Swear, man. But yeah, there was a report. But fears WWE quote won't strike while the iron is hot with LA Knight. I don't believe this report. I do not believe this fucking report for a second. Cause there's no way WWE can fumble this that bad. And he's one of the most popular stars. He's number one in merchandise sales. And Dudley's booking for night is yet to catch up with his popularity, but reports have indicated the former $1 million champion set for a renewed push following SummerSlam on August 2023. Following on that, PW Insider's claim that Knight not being featured prominently in WWE in recent weeks is by design, and the company are waiting for the right time to, quote, pull the trigger. Yeah, they're waiting for the right time. The man is 40 years old. Why does he have to wait? While he's the most over-fucking guy in the company. But yeah, we have to settle for having Santos Escobar as a champion or Austin Theory. I don't know that these executives are also are also reportedly extremely high on LA Knight. They would have had a fucking championship by now. And of course they are fears. I don't know why anyone would trust them. They have their higher ups publicly saying, quote, we listen to the fans. No, they fucking know. If they listen to the fans, LA Knight would be competing for the United States Championship, stays in a fucking pointless battle royal. Like I said, I ask, what's the logic? What does the winner get? A free pack of Slim Jims? It's a money grab. They don't give a shit what we say. If they don't push him, their dislike for what's happening with him will be blatantly obvious. Because that's the same with WWE. They want you to get over with them. They don't want you to get over by yourself. They want you to get over in their way, not the fans, organically. So they do just enough to make you think they're doing something, planning something, but in reality, they hope it fades because it was never Vince's intended plan to feature him in any meaningful way. I hope I'm wrong for his sake, because if this is fucking true and there's fears they won't strike while the iron's hot, WWE is gonna get fucking destroyed on social media. And I hope for their sake they strike iron while it's hot. Hopefully they push him, because he's already over right now. WWE has a lot of over wrestlers. I don't know what the fuck he's being pushed with. People say, oh, he's getting a push. Yeah, winning a battle royal for what? Santos Escobar coming out to crickets. But yet, we have him competing for the title, for the United States Championship. Fuck's sake. So Kevin Owens recently told Ariel Helwani that he doesn't know if the tag team titles are important as they were months ago, and it bothers him. He wants to do right by those titles for everything Usos did for them. So basically, here's the first thing I'm talking about. It's not basically a fucking rant. Here in wrestling news. So firstly, I want to talk about Kevin Owens and Sammy. They've been the heart of Monday Night Raw. After WrestleMania, You know, things have changed creatively, things change obviously. You can sit there and deny it all you want. Well, the division itself has been as weak as it used to be, with rinse and repeat tag team matches. The Judgment Day, you have Dominant Mysterio, Damian Priest versus Sammy and KO, Sammy and Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor, something like that. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And the main event with Imperium as well. After Mania, then shifted Judgment Day. It's just Vince McMahon doesn't care about tag team wrestling. KO can want to do right by the titles, but the titles were never really shown respect by those in charge to begin with. They were merely a prop to propel the bloodline story moving forward. That's it. Their ring hasn't been as good as the Usos, but I feel like it's been a good ring. Like, they've had really good matches. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these matches have been bad with Imperium and Judgment Day. It's just kind of hard to care when you get the same main event every week. That's really all. So, reportedly, some WWE SummerSlam 2023 matches were reportedly cut due to time constraints. Which is not a surprise. I figured. Because I know some matches probably got cut. Dave Meltzer said so, take it with a grain of salt. So, we still don't know about the Rhea Ripley and Raquel situation. They could clear her the day of the show and then throw that in there, but there is a time constraint. That's why some of the matches are off probably, which is probably Becky and Trish, maybe Rhea and Raquel. I just don't know why some people are crying about this. Like, yes, I get it, the women are being booked terrible. I completely understand. But maybe if you didn't watch TakeOver back in the day with the NXT Black and Gold, 2 hours, 5 matches, the greatest wrestling on the planet, leave you begging for more, rushing to watch the show on Wednesday. I don't know if this is an issue, because who wants to watch a 4, maybe even 4.5 hour show? How about people just enjoy the show and just appreciate that it is not going to be 4+ hours long? Because if you want to watch a 4+ hour pay-per-view, you're going to fucking be tired of shit and fall asleep. I'd rather have good matches and have them be given enough time than 4 hours with like 10 matches. I'm fine with this. Because you'll have Trish and Becky in her hometown, in Toronto, in front of her family. And Rhea and Raquel, you can keep building towards Payback. I completely get it. The women's division's being booked like shit. I mean, obviously. But I completely get it. On both sides of the argument. So Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus was awfully pulled because there wasn't a, quote, enough time. I mean, it makes sense because nobody wants to watch a 7.5 hour, like 4+ hour pay-per-view, like I said. I mean, it makes sense. So, Sheamus basically said he came out of WWE Clash of the Castle with so much organic momentum and it was wasted. Absolutely. It was wasted. Because they were hot. They were getting over. And now WWE's completely just fucking wasted the Brawling Brutes, especially Sheamus. And Gunther's probably one of the best Intercontinental Champions of all time, so I get why he's held the belt for so long, obviously. But there's still some talk of Warner Bros. Discovery being interested in WWE programming. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. They're already with AEW. So Fox may be unwilling to pay much higher for WWE #SmackDown rights. This kind of stuff is always interesting to me because SmackDown and NBA are the two big deals to follow for the next few months / year. So that's going to be interesting to see. Will WWE be willing to pay much higher rights? We'll see. So WWE is still planning to announce a SummerSlam match, which is, I believe, Raquel and Rhea Ripley. It's still not been announced, but Adam Pearce told Rodriguez that she will get a match against Ripley for the title when she's clear, which might happen maybe on SmackDown or something. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. And I'm really, that's all I have to say for this wrestling news. So, yeah, interesting, a lot of stuff here that I talked about. So, yeah, until next time I'm out. Peace.